Hey guys, just finished watching The Flash, Season 4, Episode 11, The Elongated Night Rises. This episode was really cool. It's a really fun episode. It was really cool dealing with Barry in prison and seeing him do different stuff and a list of things to talk about here. But yeah, it was really cool to see at the beginning, seeing him do all kinds of stuff and playing around in the jail and stuff and cleaning up all the prison and guards whenever there's a riot, putting them all away and type thing. That was really cool seeing that, and him using his powers bits and pieces throughout the time in the prison. That was kind of what I wanted to see. That I thought he'd have more fun with that, which obviously he's in prison, he's not going to have that much fun and all that, so I guess it was kind of different the way they went from that to do that. So it was really cool seeing that, and then seeing at the beginning we saw Elongated Man stop the robber and stuff, and he just pretty much catch the bomb, and he put it inside himself, and he was able to contain it and stuff. That was really cool doing that, playing a lot with his powers. There's a lot of Elongated Man throughout this episode. I mean, they focused it a lot on him, and he got the new name, he got the new costume, which was really cool the way they did all that. And then we got the Trickster Jr. who was in jail with Barry. That was really cool seeing that idea for that storyline, to see where that goes with the Trickster, which was really cool seeing having them with the Trickster in this episode. I like the way they did all that. And then they actually had his mom, which was interesting because it's actually played by his real mother from the Flash 90s show with Henry Allen there, played by John Wesley Shipp. So that was really cool seeing that prank actress return for that. And I looked it up online. She was only in actually one episode of the 90s Flash show, but it was really cool that they went out and they got her back and stuff. So I think that's really cool, doing that more legacy cast, even though she was only in for one episode and stuff. I think it's really cool to do that rather than, recast her type thing. Just get the same person. It really is nice that they did that extra step, and I think that's really perfect for that show. I like the way they do that. And hopefully, if you saw Star Wars, there's maybe an opening for Mark Hamill to come back. Maybe not this season, but maybe next season we could see him come back for an episode or two again. It would be cool because it's been a while since we've had him back, and maybe we could have all three of them in one episode. That could be really fun to see that and see where things go with that. That could be a really cool storyline. So it would be fun to see that. Maybe they could do an overarching storyline type thing. That could be really cool to see that. And also like to see, I think it'd be fun to see someone like Trickster. What if he went over to Arrow to add some type of levity to Arrow? I think it'd be so fun to have Mark Hamill. When everyone expects him to come back to Flash, have him come back and have him appear on Arrow. I think that could be really fun. It could be really interesting to see what happens with that. Or we could even see him on you'll probably see him on Legend of Tomorrow in a different time type of thing. That could be cool. We saw different versions of him on different Earths and stuff. We saw the version of his Trickster on Earth 2 for Jay Garrick. It was like for half a second. I think it was last season, so maybe we can get to see him somewhere in time with the Legends. But it would be cool to see modern Trickster over on Arrow, because I was trying to rack my brain, trying to think, where is our Trickster? I mean, last time we saw him with a different version of him, but where is our Trickster? Is he escaped? So I think that's what they said in this thing, because I was hoping that they weren't going to tell her, because I was kind of worried for a second there that I'd forget that the Trickster died type thing, that they killed off what's his face's character. I think that would be terrible to do that, and you can never do that. Yeah, there's the whole different versions, different Earths and all that stuff, but still keep the original one that's the same exact version from the original show. You can't kill off that version. I think that version is pretty cool that it's connected like that to the show, and hopefully now that they've added the same actress to play Prank, they can do that and bring her back together. So it would be cool to see Mark Hamill return with that. Maybe they could also get Tina McGee to come back and have as much people from the original show as much as possible all in one episode. That could be really cool. And I think if they're going to go for kind of episodes that are kind of filler episodes, because this one is very much filler but not filler, but I think the way they did it was still kind of fun for it to be not a filler. I mean, I went like too long. I'm glad it was just one episode, then they're moving back on. It's still kind of played around with the whole season story on with Barry being in prison and him dealing with all that. But it was really kind of cool seeing this other storyline as things went on. So it really is going to be cool to see where things go with this. I think it'd be really cool to see different characters, like I said, from the other original show. If I'm not mistaken, John Wesley Shipp is set to return as Jay Garrick, so that could be cool to do that. But I think I'd also like to see other people from the Flash. We think we've had there was some of those two police officers who now plays the mayor of Central City. I think that was cool having him back. So maybe we can get everyone in an episode and get as much as you can to recreate all the actors from the 90s. So I think that could be fun to do that if we can get Mark Hamill back. And I think maybe we can, I don't know about this season, but maybe next season we can get him back or such type thing. Fingers crossed, we'll have to wait and see. But like I said, it would be fun to see them on Arrow just because it would be so, like, this Trickster is so funny and silly, and then you bring him on the dark show of Arrow, like, it would be so cool to see how that would go and how that would juxtapose and what would Mark Hamill's Trickster do to Arrow, you know, how would he want to take on Green Arrow type thing and his team and all that stuff. I think that would be really cool to see that for an episode over on Arrow, and then have him come back type thing. Who knows, that could be fun to see that, maybe a two-parter where he goes to Arrow first and then comes to Flash after Flash fixes it type thing. Who knows, that could be fun. So yeah, and then we got the bodyguard storyline with Barry. That was kind of cool seeing that type of thing. That was kind of cool, that storyline, how it all connects into the fact that that Henry Allen worked there type thing, or used to be there. So that could be cool to see that. I think that'd be fun to see where that goes and how that storyline continues on, because then Barry goes on later on to save the bodyguard, whose name is Big Sir, and then he has another name which is not here on IMDb, so I'm not sure what don't forget what his name is, but that's going to be cool to see how that storyline goes. It seems like they're setting it up for a little bit. I looked on IMDb to see if this guy has a ton of episodes set up to be in, but it's only this episode and the next episode, it looks like, because he only has 2 credits on IMDb. So, but then who knows? He could have more than that. We don't know yet. So that was really cool seeing that. And then there was a part that really bugged me that was kind of wrong. That kind of took me out a little bit was when Trickster was calling out what's his face, Elongated Man, trying to call out Ralph Dentmy, and then ended up spraying him with the acid and threw the bomb and then all that stuff that blew up the car right in the middle of the streets of Vancouver, Central City type thing, which was kind of, there was a street sign in the background. You couldn't see all of it, but you could see part of it, and it's just, I don't understand how people who live in Central City, in this city, see part of a sign, and they can be like, oh, I recognize that street because that's downtown here, because it's right downtown. It looked like it was right downtown. Now, I don't know how big Central City is supposed to be, but I don't know if they couldn't recognize that, or recognize, oh, I know those buildings. It just looked like a place. It seems like Central City is relatively smallish type thing, city, regular size city, and they couldn't figure out where downtown he was type thing, because he was just downtown, and there was like street signs, there was all kinds of stuff. I don't know why there was nothing in the video that they couldn't extrapolate and figure out where he was based on that type thing. But oh well, that's just something that I noticed. And then there was cool seeing the Kryptonite joke with Elongated Man, which reminds me, he hasn't met Arrow, he hasn't met Supergirl, he hasn't met anyone outside of maybe Kid Flash. I think he met. He's the only other superhero. So I think that's really going to be fun to see how that goes later on when that team up happens, that type of thing. So I think it's really going to be fun to see where things go with this Elongated Man. I think it's really going to be cool to see where things continue on with him. I'd love to see him maybe at one point join Legends. I think he could be cool there. It could be definitely interesting to see that. But it's really going to be fun to see him. Maybe one episode he could, want to take a break and just go over to Arrow for an episode, and then, take a week off of Flash just to go to Arrow a little bit just so he can interact with them and then come back. I think that could be cool. I think with the whole thing going on Arrow right now, with it being real serious and real serious and dark storyline type thing right now that they're doing. They don't have like an immortal being, League of Assassins. They don't have anything like that. They don't have any Deathstroke. They just have a bunch of guys. And the most comic book part about Arrow right now is Black Canary Scream and Black Siren Scream. So I think it would be cool to bring in Elongated Man to really mix things up and shake things up just for an episode to see how things go there. Maybe he could go there and then try to help and then be like, ooh, nope, that's not working, and then come back to Flash and be like, yeah, it's too dark over there for me. I'm much better over here, type of thing. I think that could be fun to see that, because I think it would be cool to see with all the different things going on with Kate and James and all the different guys and a lot of guns involved on Arrow. It'd be cool to just see him get riddled with kind of thousands and thousands of bullets, and then just kind of launch them back and have a few guys. I think that could be fun for an episode or 2 on Arrow, but I doubt we get that. And then we get Elongated Man's new suit, which I did a video for that, which again, his suit, it's interesting. I wish it had a little bit more color. I mean, maybe purple or red, or make sure purple and red. Doesn't look flexible whatsoever. It looks like a leather suit. But it is what it is. It's better than that PJs he was wearing. Who knows? He'll probably get an upgrade later on, just like every suit always gets an upgrade. If you compare Arrow now to his original Hood costume in season 1, completely different. So it will evolve as time goes on. But for now, it's just kind of like, just want a little bit more. If for Elongated, man, it needs to be a little bit more spandexy type thing, and it works a lot more spandex on the Flash. So I could see where things, where he can't have like a super bright suit, especially if there's times where he's trying to sneak in and out of places, just like he did in this episode where he snuck into the prison and then snuck out. He can't have anything super bright type thing, but a version of his costume, mixture of the red costume and the original purple costume that he had, could be kind of cool to see that type thing as time goes on. But for now, this could be cool to see where things go with this costume. So yeah, that was really cool seeing that, and then seeing him, him go over his fear type thing and saving Vibe and Killer Frost, even though he wasn't sure if that was gonna, if he was gonna survive this stuff type thing. That was really cool seeing that, and that character development is really interesting to see where that goes and see how long it lasts. Maybe now that Flash is out of prison, is in prison type thing and out of commission. So that was really cool. And then seeing how he got the name Elongated Man with a newspaper and seeing it spinning on screen, that is really cool. And I love when they do that type thing. It was really cool, really classic comic book and really Adam West Batman 66 stuff style. I like the way they did that. That was really fun with that. And then we got another thing with Donna Allen, but this time we see her writing in her book. She's writing the same way Barry was writing at the beginning of the episode, at the beginning of the season when he first came out of the Speed Force type thing. So that was really cool seeing that and see how that's going to continue on. And I was looking up, trying to find her page on IMDb, and she's not credited anywhere on IMDb in The Flash, because this is her first episode actually of The Flash, because when we actually first saw her at the wedding, that first episode of the crossover wasn't actually The Flash. It was actually Supergirl, so she's credited on Supergirl as just caterer type thing, I think is what they call it. Yeah, I just called her a caterer over on Supergirl for that. So that was really cool seeing that. It's really going to be fun to see where things go with her and how that connects to Barry and the time and the Speed Force. Does she have Speed Force powers? Is it connected to Speed Force and all that, how things are going to go and really how things are going to continue on from that. So that'd be cool to see that, how that works. Because in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, she is from the 31st century. I wonder if there's going to be any connection maybe to the legions of superheroes over on Supergirl. I doubt it, just because there are definitely on different Earths type thing, and so they wouldn't be exactly from each other, same timeline. If she is part of the Legion on The Flash, maybe there could be something, maybe there is a connection, maybe there's not a connection. We'll have to wait and see. I think the only connection would be maybe they've crossed over here and there. Maybe she jumps through Earths and goes to different Earths also in her timeline, because if she's from the 31st century, who's to know that they don't have technology just to jump between Earths type thing, instead of going on a vacation out wherever, instead of going to Florida for a vacation, she can just jump over to another Earth and go somewhere. So maybe that's the idea. Who knows? But I doubt we'll get a connection to those. But it would be cool to see a connection to the same thing and see if there's how things are going. And I don't know. It just seems like a little bit much to be a coincidence. But at the same time, if it is a coincidence, it's like, maybe it's just a coincidence. We'll have to wait and see. But it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be checking out to see where things go with this. So it's really going to be fun to see where things go with all that, how things continue on, and I definitely can't wait to see where things go with all these things in this episode. So all in all, it's an interesting episode, nice little balance of a kind of a fillerish storyline, but at the same time, still keeping it part of the season-long running story. So that was really cool seeing that, and definitely can't wait to see where things go from all this. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. What do you think about it? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.